New York Republican Congressman George Santos has been indicted on federal charges in his home state. Those charges, filed Tuesday, will remain sealed until Santos appears in court, which could happen as soon as today. Santos made headlines after admitting to lying about much of his background, including his having Jewish ancestry, a Wall Street career, and his college degrees. So what could the congressman be charged with, and what comes next for Santos? NewsNation legal analyst Jesse Weber is here to discuss. Hey, Jesse.
Good morning. Good to see you.
You too. So we still don't know what Congressman Santos has been charged with. I mean, that is still under seal. What do you expect those charges are, and when do you think we might find out?
Well, you're right. We don't know, but we can certainly read the tea leaves and based on the reporting. So it seems to indicate to me that this is about the campaign finance violations, right? So the idea here, they're going to take a really careful look at the way the money was donated to his campaign and any expenditures from the campaign, and more importantly, also whether there were any false statements that were actually filed about these campaign contributions or these financial documents and these financial disclosures in any way. And I think that's going to be really significant because there's always been questions surrounding George Santos regarding his finances and where the money came from and whether or not he was being totally transparent about it coming from personal funds as opposed to corporate funds. But we're also seeing this reporting that the FBI spoke with a Navy veteran who apparently George Santos was going to organize money for this charity to help a sick dog. And there's a question of whether Santos misappropriated the funds and actually pocketed the money. So I'm going to be curious to see if that comes out. Now, like you said, we believe that an initial court appearance today is when the charges, this indictment will be unsealed. And we'll finally have a degree and understanding of how severe these charges will be and what action will be taken, not only on a legal front, but maybe more interestingly on the political front when it comes to what House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will do.
Yeah, it's certainly on all fronts a big day for Republicans here. Jesse, will the House vote to remove Congressman Santos now that he's been charged? And can someone still serve in Congress if they've been indicted?
Okay, it's a great question. Yes, they can, even if they're indicted, even if they're convicted. The way that they're removed is through a process called expulsion. You would need a 2/3 vote of the House to make that happen. Now, Kevin McCarthy obviously doesn't want to lose that seat in a special election to a Democrat, which may very likely happen given the district where Santos is. But I just have to say, in a country where we're so divided and we can't agree on anything, isn't it incredible that there's this bipartisan support against George Santos on the right and the left? There feels like this distrust here of who he is, his qualifications, and how he was able to make it to the top seat. I think that's remarkable. I didn't think it would take George Santos for both sides to come together, but that's kind of what we're seeing.
It is remarkable. I keep thinking back, I said this earlier this morning, back to the State of the Union when he and Mitt Romney had that exchange, somewhat seemed heated. But to your point, the New York Times reported last year that the congressman's resume has largely been fake, raised questions about his personal and campaign finances. But despite that, and there's also been a lot that we have learned since, since January, he's been allowed to remain in Congress. How did it ever come to this, Jesse?
That's the million-dollar question, because I think it becomes a larger issue of where was the vetting process, and maybe there needs to be a second look at how we vet our candidates and how they actually are promoted to the top seat. I think it's both the Republicans' fault and maybe the Democrats' fault as well in terms of opposition research. The fact that this only came out after he was elected. And look, there's something to be said. There's nothing illegal. Maybe there's something unethical, but illegal about lying about your resume. Sure, it might look really bad and you might not get elected, and maybe it becomes a question of would you be voted out. But when it crosses into the line of potential false statements and campaign finance violations, that's where you get into the legal territory. I think when it comes to George Santos, whatever happens today, he's a really good case study on a problem in this country when it comes to politics and how we elect our leaders. And maybe there needs to be a more thorough research and vetting process before we just immediately appoint somebody because they have a good, not even a resume, they have good talking points moving forward.
And something tells me we'll have a lot more to study in that study case. Jesse Weber, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.